you want the books to exist, and you can make that happen. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's time for yet another writing vlog. I've been actually making progress after so long, and so I have things to talk about, and I want to talk about them. I might be making quite a bad example for y'all because I am a little bit of an idiot. Ever since I kind of started writing, like, more officially, I've struggled with picking a book idea to write. Even this year, it was a struggle. Last year, during NaNoWriMo, I literally changed my mind, and it's just ridiculous, and it's a struggle, and I just want you to know, if you're the same, you're not the only one. You're not alone in it. I already have, like, these 3 fantasy romance series that are, like, an official plan. The first series has 4 books, the second probably 3, and the third also probably 3. I'm not entirely sure about that. But I already know, like, what characters will be there. I know what's gonna be happening there. Like, it's real. It's, like, real shit. And it's most definitely gonna happen. And I definitely want this to exist. Then there's a contemporary romance book that I've talked about, and I actually finished writing that, which I talked about in my last writing vlog, which I'm gonna link down below. So, basically, as you can see in the title of this video, I'm currently working on 3 books at the same time. And why I could be a bad example is because writing more than 1 book at once is not really a good idea. But I wanted to talk about it because I feel like how I do this is kind of makes sense. And it's not a total disaster, and I was just thinking maybe if you struggled with the whole picking 1 book idea up, then this might be a little helpful. But it might also be not. What the hell? It might also not be very helpful. Okay, there's a contemporary romance book that I just finished that I talked about, and it's currently going through, like, kind of a beta reading process. Not really. I sent it to 2 people, but it's not very official. Actually 3. So whatever, but sometime soon I want some people to read it. I want them to tell me if it's a piece of shit or not, and then based on what they tell me, I'll decide if I actually want to, like, keep going with it and publish it or put it into trash. Because I don't know, it's like with the fantasy romance series, I absolutely believe in it. I want it to exist. I'm absolutely sure that I want to publish it. But with this book, it's like I'm just not sure about it. I don't know if it's good enough, and there are moments when I'm like, it's great, and then there are moments that I'm like, I can never publish this because it's a piece of shit. And another problem with that is, like, I started working on that book when I was 15, and it's like there are still bits of it that are kind of like more childish and less professional, and I can't really change that at this point. Not really. It's like I can improve it, but it's still gonna have that vibe, plus it's YA, and the fantasy is new adult, so that kind of makes a difference. So technically I'm not actually working on that right now. There are just like 2 scenes I want to add, but then I'll just move on to editing. And then there's the fantasy romance, which I'm writing the first draft of the first book. Is going great. And the third one is a collection of poetry. As you can see, 3 genres, 3 very different books, and 3 very different books that are, like, on a different stage. The collection of poetry, the plan for that is I just write poems when I feel like it. It's not like a book that I'm like, I'm gonna write that now, but it's a book that I want to write over time. I already have like 40 poems or something, and I want it to be maybe like 200 pages long, maybe even a little bit less than that. And the plan of that is just to write poems when I feel like it, and usually I write more about, like, deeper topics or, like, emotions or whatever. There, it's like if something happens and inspires me, I go and write a poem, but I don't actually schedule any of it. So I'm writing 3 books at the same time, but the only case in which I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't say I recommend it to anyone because it might end up as a disaster in most cases. But what I would say is if you've been struggling with the whole I don't know what to write situation, this might be helpful. But if you have like 3 books that are like at the very, beginning stages of existence and you are working on outlining them and whatever, and especially if they're all the same genre and the same vibe, it's a horrible idea. The only reason why I think it's working great with me is because it's different genres and it's also different things that I work on with each of the books. So I'm trying to write the first draft of the fantasy book just like every day, just actually like really working on it. Then the editing will be when I get the feedback and just when I kind of like, I don't know, in the morning maybe, just when I feel like it, and the poetry again just whenever I'm inspired. So it's kind of like basically just nicely divided into different times, and that's why it works great. If you have like 3 fantasy books, 3 contemporary romance books, or even 2, I don't think that's a great idea, and I think that you should really do your best to pick the book that you will write and just write that one thing. Actually soon, or I'm not sure yet, but either soon or I already uploaded a video talking about how to pick a book to write. So if I already uploaded it, I'm gonna link it down below in the comments. But basically the main message that I wanted to share in that video is just write. Whenever I struggle with it, I just tell myself what matters most is that I keep writing instead of doing something else. Because what happened to me so often in the past was that I just spent so much time trying to decide what book to write that I just then bailed on it because I didn't know which one to write, and so I wrote nothing. It is so much worse to write nothing than write, 3 books at the same time. So just keep writing and try to figure out how to make it work, either if you want to write more than one thing at once, or just in the best case scenario, pick that one book that makes you the happiest, that, lights your soul on fire, that just you're dying to write, you desperately want to read it, you just want it to exist, you want to publish it and everything, and just, yeah. So try to figure that out. I'm actually beyond excited, beyond productive, it's beautiful. What I wanted to say earlier in the video is that I actually thought that the beginning of the first fantasy romance book in the first series, I thought the beginning was a disaster, that it was just weird and like but now I actually read the whole thing. I read the beginning and oh my god, it is so much better than I thought, and it's like, of course, it's not perfect, but it's like everything I want it to be. I'm so happy with the book. I'm so ready to finish the book and publish it because I want you all to read it, and I actually really, really, really believe in this whole series, in the whole world, in literally everything about it, because I'm beyond proud of it. There are times when I'm like, I can't believe that I actually created these incredible, wonderful people that I love beyond measure, and I die for them. And yeah, it's just beautiful, it's great, and I hope your writing life is going just as great. Just remember that you love it, you want the books to exist, and you can make that happen, and you should try to do your best on making it happen, because you can. I believe in you, and yeah. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and yes. Have a great day, and see you soon in my next video. Bye!